No, just hanging out. But now I do have sound. That's wild. That's crazy. Two A. But it's going to 2B. Oh, because it is 2B. And that's, yeah, that's set up on 2A. Yeah, Pro Tools is 1B, yeah. That's right, it's 2B. Pro Tools is 2B. But TalkBack, BTB. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know why my voice doesn't come through whenever all that's going on. I don't know. We're back. I figured it out. We're heading to Discord. We're sharing. All right. got it sorted. It helps. All right, we're back in business. Here we go. Growing pains, guys. It's been a thing. It's like, because every time I would start to fire Pro Tools, my entire system would just shut down. And it's because I had my vocal mic was routed through my Universal Apollo straight into my broadcasting software. And then when I'd fire Pro Tools, it was like, no, I need the broadcasting software. So it would, or it was like, I need the Apollo. So it would shut down my entire stream, and both screens would go black. My entire computer would just refuse to work. All my interfaces would start clicking. It scared the hell out of me, honestly. But no, we're back up. We're chilling. We're doing the thing. Checking a couple of quick messages real quick. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. I'm going to hit spacebar. Oh, there's very high. Yes, if you want to play around with it, that's totally cool too. Unfortunately, I've had to put my original stuff on the back burner. Gmail. Sick. Side of things. .com. Feel free to send it on over. We chilling. We're back. Sorry. Interface and OBS, we're trying to grab audio from the same place at the same time. Or, sorry, Pro Tools and OBS, we're trying to share an interface, and it fucked everything up. So yeah, we're back in business now. I'm just double checking to make sure that my gear cam's still going to work. And we should be good to, yep, boom, gear cam fires right up there. Cam holder. The official name for it, right? Gear cam holdy thingy-majig. Where'd it go? The working gear cam. Pop over to that real fast, make sure that's gonna work. Sweet, we've got the gear cam. Gear cam works. Everything works. Yes. All right, killer. Jeez, that was like pulling teeth for forever. Hey gang, sorry about the growing pains. Back up and rocking. And chat works too. Sweet. Everything's functioning as it should. Thank God. This was a deal. Trying to get everything fired here. Make sure that we had a good. Gotcha. Tried reloading your first live. I thought I just lost a second. No, dude. Yeah. Damn computer. My ignorance. Thinking I was like, oh, I could just use my audio interface in OBS and in Pro Tools at the same time. No, it's got to be clocked to one program. Thought my computer died. Scary. Thought I lost all my data. I didn't have time to back anything up. Scary as fuck. Right. And there goes my Canon. Alright, sick. I just gotta remember, Canon has a 30-minute timer. But I should have everything routed in Pro Tools. Actually, I'm going to mute the vocals real quick, that way I don't accidentally... I don't know if I'm going to catch a copyright on this song or not, because it is technically a released song. Vocal stems, harmony stems, vocal effects. We'll mute all that fun stuff. I'm just going to color code some tracks real quick, how I would normally have them in Pro Tools. That's the click track. We don't need the click track. Hide that and make that inactive. That's irrelevant for what we're doing. Drums. This is back before I had a bunch of this gear too, so like, I think the only thing I had at the time was the Clearphonic and the API 2500. But I didn't have like a really solid bus compressor option, so... And this is before I was using the API on the drums. So all this cage stuff I mixed, it's all API 2500 as a bus compressor. And it's actually, these are the sessions that made me want to switch something. I was like, all right, it's good. This style of music. So I wanted something that was like more soft, more cushy, you know, more bloomy. Just that overall kind of vibe. Clips in tracks. Red. Just so my brain makes sense. This is how I like usually color code things. Let's see, acoustics are like coffee shoppy. Guitar extras are yellow. And then the leads are always fiery orange because they are fire. And then all the effects and everything else is going to be this bright shade of blue. Just the corner blue swatch. And that's percussion. Percussion needs to go up here with the drums, and then that also goes brown. So drums are brown because they're the closest to the earth, like earthy tribal drums. Bass is purple because it's funky like Bootsy Collins. Guitars are red because they're the hottest thing in the mix. Are yellow just because they make things pop. Leads are orange because they're fire. And then all the vocals will be shades of green because the vocals are the money. Everybody has their own weird coloring scheme. That's been my coloring scheme for like, shit, the past like 15 years probably. Here we go. I should be able to push play. I've got this little app pulled up, or this it's pretty sick. I'm going to switch over to full screen mode. Here we go. Transition on over to full screen. But yeah, this Mute-O-Matic program is sick. It's reading my voice, but the second I push play, it'll mute whatever channel it's on. So I don't have to sit there and worry about like talk back on, talk back off, all that shit. And then it keeps the music from bleeding into my mic live whenever. So if you see my mouth moving and the music's playing and you don't hear me talking, that's why. It's because I'm just dumb and forgot that was on. Let's give us a quick listen. There goes, and the percussion is just like snare rim clicks. Clack it, clack it, clack it. Yeah, I just played snare rims on a separate track. Real ass drums. Huge real ass drums. On all this stuff. So we got one set of guitars, cage guitar. Kind of like that saturated, like a Fender vibe. Oh, that's the Chris guitars. Here's the Cage guitars. Yeah, just like tweed vibes. And then the Chris guitars. Same vibe. Just Stratty, single coil, fucking shitty mic, you know? Yeah, and all the effects are baked into the guitars, but they work together. They play back and forth, like two different tones. Whenever so they're both double tracked, so Cage double tracked, Chris double tracked, and then as you can see in the volume levels here, Cage is a little left side heavy, and Chris is a little bit right side heavy. So they're creating like a little bed. So there's a little bit of both player on each side, but they both kind of have like their dominant side in the mix. But it still makes the guitar sound super wide, as opposed to just having one guitar per side. Especially like in the choruses. That's where we use it the most. You'll see like down to one guitar side, pretty much one guitar side. When you hit the choruses, that's where that second guitar comes in, and it really helps lift that chorus. It's like we've got some acoustics. What do we have going on here? You can hear that tracking room in those acoustics big time. Like super big time. That's that High Street Studio control room. Or tracking space. Yeah, so there it's one guitar down the middle with two mics. So it's a single guitar, a mic in the front, and a mic in the back. And then those mics are being panned left and right. And then whenever we get halfway through the verse, it's one mic in front, two guitars. So it builds the verse in the production. Helps keep the chorus hits. So we've got guitar extras. What's going on guitar extras? It's like a univibe kind of background thing. Yeah, and we have two guitar solos. I think one of these is Chris and one of these is Cage. I think they both played solos on this. That's a Cage solo for sure. That's Cage playing guitar. 1 second, y'all. We back. Sorry, gang, we're back. Yeah, that was the Chris solo, or that was the Cage solo. And then we've got, I think this is the Chris solo. It's just Chris playing a slide guitar. That's all it is. Outro, Chris playing slide. Yeah, and here's, see the drums? Those drums hit hard, man. What's your approach to editing guitars? Are you a flex time kind of guy, or are you more of a slice and dice approach? That's a really good question. Pull up the chat. That's a dang good question. So I'm more of a I'll slip edit, which is like the slice and dice method, or I'm chopping guitars up and then lining them up that way. If it's just a really fast-paced session and things are like, we gotta go on to the next one, then I will use Elastic Pro. It's the new stretch algorithm they just added. It's right over here. Yeah, it's the last one, Elastic Pro. I used to use Polyphonic for a long time, and that's good when you need it, but even that one, you can kind of hear the artifacting going on in that. The Elastic, whatever they've done in Elastic Pro, it's pretty good. And the trick to any of the Elastic Audio is if you're going to use any of the Elastic Audio algorithms, you want to switch it from, because it'll be in real-time processing down here. Let me switch to my full screen real quick so I can show you. Yeah, so Elastic, here's all my algorithms right here. We're back. But yeah, all the algorithms, polyphonic, rhythmic, whatever. Elastic's the bad mamma jamma. And then down here, whenever you turn it on, it'll be in defaults to real-time processing. And you want to do all of your editing whenever you're actually working on the track. You want to edit with real-time processing turned on. And the trick to getting the most transparent, like stretched audio, whenever you're done with all your editing, you switch it to rendered processing before you commit the track. And then it uses all the CPU, just boom, like freezes it in place. That way you're not sitting there just like taxing your system the entire time as it's trying to stretch and pull in real time. But yeah, with the combination Elastic Pro in rendered mode before you do the thing, that'll get you through in a pinch for sure. Actually, I'm gonna the newest Blackstone Cherry. None of that was gridded. Not a bit of that album was gridded. And all I did was nudge some things around whenever it needed to be nudged. But all this stuff, all the cage stuff was all chopped, slip edited, fill gaps, crossfade. And then if there was like a chord that got like cut a little bit short, then I'll stretch like just that one chord just to fill a gap. But ultimately, the answer is a combination of both. But mostly chopping and slip editing, and then stretching to fill the gaps whenever you have to stretch to fill the gaps. All right, here we go. I'm gonna play a little bit of this. Make sure I got a bunch of junk on my mix bus. Bus is in, but it is not engaged on the unit. The unit is actually hard bypassed right now, so it's passing through the circuit, but it's. Tell you what, I'll just there we go. It's out. And then this is what we were using. We were using BusComp too. If it'll turn on. It's got like 8x oversampling on or 4x. Oh, I turned it on and turned it back off again. 4x oversampling on right now. I'll turn all like the loudizers off. I'm gonna leave Pro L on. But I'm going to copy my setting. See, my setting's already copied over. And I'm just going to turn the gain all the way down. And that way we just got like a safety net in case we're going over for the stream. It'll be okay. But it's not making anything loud. That's not my mix bus settings for this song. This was 10 in auto. 2-to-1. This oversampling, that's what it is. Turn that oversampling off, and we'll turn this oversampling off. There we go, and then we can actually hear I've got on tap the actual unmastered mix that has the API as a bus compressor. But yeah, that snare drum on the API track is pump, crunch and splat, and just punch on it. That's why I ultimately moved it to drums, because it's just like I love everything it does to drums, and I love everything it does to guitars. But sometimes when it comes to like how fast and harsh it grabs, even in like the softest knee setting, soft knee, low ratio, that thing gets pretty grabby. It gets grabby. I mean, you can get it really close to an SSL, but it just doesn't have like the cush and the bloom of an SSL. So I'm gonna pop this out, go back to our mix here, maybe rebalance a couple of these faders, and we'll just like loop a chorus. I'll pop over to the gear cam, and we'll start playing with the SSL. No, oh no, it's okay. We're gonna keep on going. I'm gonna pop the Bus Plus in, and the trim plugins. This is a trick. This is a good trick. -6, +6. That way, I'm not clipping, overloading my converter going to the unit, because I mix some of this stuff so dang hot that I really need that +6 to bring it down, or otherwise I'm gonna be clipping my converter at the output. So I'm gonna switch this over to the gear cam real quick, transition on over, and then we'll start playing with this Bus Plus. The gear cam, it's time. There we go. You guys see that? You guys see the SSL, all that fun stuff. You can still hear me talking and ranting. But so this is SSL right now is currently out. So this is popping in the channels. I've got it in dual mono mode. Let's check it out in just classic. It's got a couple cool modes, I'll tell you that. So it's got like it's got this dual mono mode, which is what I'm in right now. It has experiment with and kind of just deep dive on. It has the classic stereo mode, which is like straight out of the console. So it's straight out of the console, dual VCA detection, ready to rock. And this is a setting that like made me laugh. It has a summed to mono detection, which this is what all the clones do. All the clones don't use like most of the clones don't do a dual detector. Like the only ones I know that do are the Audioscape does a dual detection. The full 19-inch rack of the Stam Audio does a dual detection. None of the 500s do. None of the 500, even like the mono, even the 500 series SSL has a mono detector in it. Then the Warm Audio Buzz compressor over here has a mono detector in it. So that's what the clones do. The console never did that. The console was always just a classic stereo dual detection, and that was it. But they didn't operate independently of each other. It was detecting the left and the right detection. This is an actual summed to mono detection. So I'll go ahead and pop this in. So now it's in. We're in stereo mode. None of the... Oh, those are engaged. We'll disengage that. So this is the low frequency expander, high frequency expander. And then I've learned whenever I'm in stereo mode, this becomes a high frequency gain knob. So I have like a low gain and I have a high gain knob. So I can actually do like a little Pultec-y kind of thing. And then if I want the Pultec vibe, you just push this button, and then it has the boost cut undershoot. So that's freaking sweet. Not only that, but you can change the frequencies. I didn't know that until I started diving in. So check this out. If I hold this button, look at that. So this is the frequency that I'm selected at right now. See, that's 40 hertz, 80 hertz, 120 hertz, all the way up to like 200 hertz. By clicking this, look at that, 800 or 80 hertz, So 40 hertz, 50 hertz, 50-ish hertz, and then this is the range. So this is like the how much dynamic range you're allowing the compressor or expander to get, and you can go like I can have 8 dB of range up or 8 dB of range down. So I've got it set to 4 right now. You have 4 dB up, 4 dB down, and then that sets the low frequency. And if you hold the high frequency button, it does the exact same thing. So your range, how far up and down, and then this is your frequency. So, but in 1,000 cycles. So on this, it's 4K, 6K, 8K, 12K. I've got it set to 8K right now, just kind of playing around with the settings. And then this is your attack and release, or your attack times. So I think it defaults to like 30 milliseconds or 20 millisecond attack times, but when you push the button, and then what's even cooler than that is if you hold the button, it's auto. It goes full auto. So full auto. And then you have this high frequency where it changes the high frequency from a shelf to a bell. So not only is it like a absolute savage bus compressor, but it's a total fucking like mixed bus shaping machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and push play on this track, and we can dive into this, and I'll engage this in classic stereo mode, and we can just kind of play around and see what it does. So here we go. Let's start with like some classic settings. Let's go like attack 30, release 100, and a 4:1 ratio, and see what happens. None of the EQ stuff is in right now, so all that's out. Here we go. Oh, that thing's fucking amazing, isn't it? like right off the rip. Jesus. Jesus, dude. This is just 4:1. You can just hear like the entire mix just immediately just boom comes to life. My gosh. Like, dude. Let's listen. I'm gonna switch back over. Hold on a second. I'm gonna find a way. Can I put the gear cam up here? Like, can I do that? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put the gear cam over here too, like with us. We're gonna nerd together. We're gonna add a gear cam. Can I add the gear cam? Well, let me add the gear cam. Game, console, display. I gotta add the gear cam. Oh, here we go. I can. Look at that. Oh, you guys can't see it. I'm shifting some things around here real quick, guys. Sorry. A little bit bigger, but still keep my. There we go. We've got the gear cam now. So yeah, here's this. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and push play. We can check it out again. Dude, it's crazy like how forward and wide everything gets the second that you pop that thing in. I'm gonna try something because I normally mix with I usually use my mix bus in dual mono. So I'm gonna copy these settings over to the other side. We'll switch it over to dual mono mode and check that out. So I'm gonna move this gear cam so you can see the full unit. And I'm just gonna copy this. So our threshold, and the buttons have clicks, so it's super easy to copy settings over. Ratios at 4:1. Releases at 100. Attack. Makeup gains 1 notch below +4. Mix at 100. 4. That's checked. 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 That should be full match. Here we go. I'll switch it. We'll start off in stereo, and then I'll switch it over into multi-mono. And you should be able to hear everything get super wide. Here we go. Everything just gets so super wide, like the second that it pops in. I'm gonna go ahead and bypass both channels in and out, and we can hear what that's doing to this mix. Well, that don't suck. That really don't suck at all. So I'm gonna play around with some settings real quick. I'm gonna pop this back down to say 2:1. I'm gonna switch this back over to a 20 millisecond attack time, and let's switch it over to an auto release, because I'm usually like an auto release kind of guy anyway. And yeah. I'm going to bypass it in and out. Dude, having that in multi-mono, that's the winner. Is he about to go do sound check? All right, yeah. Checking to make sure we didn't have comments. Let's start playing around. Oh shoot, I forgot to tell you guys. THD mode right now. Let's kick that off. So right now it's giving me cleaner low end. So I kicked it off. Now we'll have like just a straight classic SSL sound. Here we go. I like low THD mode personally. For me, that's it's just like a cleaner sound. Like something about having like the low THD mode involved. You just get like a super surgically, like sheeny, shiny, huge low end out of it. So Low THD mode on. Let's go ahead and kick on the 4K distortion mode and just kind of see what 4K does. I think I've got it right now. I got it kicked back. So on the factory, it comes in orange mode. I kicked it back one mode. So I'll show you this. I'll show you factory, and then we'll just redline this motherfucker, and I'll show you what like just absolutely cooked saturation sound this thing can give you. So this is 4K mode in and out. French for me, like even then. So let's go ahead and we'll dial it back. So we hold the switch, and then this becomes a plus and minus right here. So this will tell you like how much 4K you want to add. So this is back. So that's as low as it goes. I'll tell you what. Let's overcook it. Let's just go full on. So here we go. 4K mode's red. And then we got to go to this side. Make this side red as well. Here we go. So now we're absolutely cooking the shit out of this thing. So you'll be able to hear what 4K mode does. And I'll turn low THD off so you can hear like how grimy and gnarly this unit gets. That's pretty saturated gnarls, so I'll bypass the whole thing. Here we go. Yes, you can hear it's adding a shit ton of distortion. I'm going to back that way back down. We'll go to the first yellow knob. The first yellow knob's kind of where I've been digging on it so far. Kick that off. We'll go back into feed forward. Feedback is a lot of fun because it's when it takes the output of the compressor and reroutes it through the detection circuit, so you get out of it. All right, let's play around with some of this dynamic band stuff. I'm gonna throw it into stereo mode that way we can dial it in, really get it where we like it, and once we get some settings we like, I'll go ahead and throw it back over into multi-mono mode. That's the question. Do we want to expand the low end and high end, or do we want to compress the low end or the high end? Let's try compressing the low end. I don't know. Let's just turn some knobs and see what sounds good. Fuck it. Here we go. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm a mastering engineer, and I'm gonna go for like tapey high end and a really tight controlled low end. Let's try that. So I'm gonna compress the low end, get it tight. I'm gonna switch that into auto, and then I'm gonna use the top one kind of like the high frequency compressor on the SSL Fusion. So I'm gonna see how close I can get to that. I like what that's doing to the low end and the fast setting. I'm going to go ahead and bring it. So now that we've compressed it a lot, I'm going to go ahead and bring it back. That way we've got it back. That's cool. Like when I push the G series button, when that light's on, the low end becomes a lot softer. So for this particular track, I kind of like the hardness of the low end that I've got going on right now. So I'm going to leave it in, I'm going to leave that G series function disengaged, but I'll let you hear that again. Like when it's out, it's a little harder. When it's in, the low end is a little softer and bloomier. I like the harder, more focused. Bypass that, make sure I haven't overcooked the low end. Sick. I like where that's sitting. So I'm going to copy that over to the other side real quick. So, low frequency, click, click. One click too far. And then I'm not going to touch this when I'm in stereo, because when I'm in stereo, that's a high frequency gain. And I'm not going to mess with that right now. Let's play around with a high frequency and see if we can make it sound like a tape machine. Fuck it. The question now is, do I like auto more or do I like regular? I feel like auto gives the high end like more glassy feel to it. So let's roll with that. I'm going to back it off one click. The only problem with that is when I switch this over to multi-mono, I'm not going to have the high frequency bump. So I'm trying not to listen to it with the high frequency bump on, because I don't want to fall in love with that. So I'm going to try this at fast attack mode, just to see if I can catch the snare. I like where that's sitting. I changed the low there real quick. So I'm going to switch this to dual mono. And we're going to copy these settings over. So the low is at my one click above 1.5. And the high frequency is one click back. One click back. Let's listen to it. That's sounding pretty damn good to me. I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to listen to our original. I'm going to mute the mix bus and listen to the unmastered mix.
Sleep all day. To play.
just hear that API grabbing those snares, man. It just has like a sound to the drums. That's why it's on the drums. Things sounding really good right now. Here we go. I'm going to bypass these again real quick. Listen to our mix bus. Listen to our reference. I'm going to change some settings around real quick. Found something cool here in the low end I like. Yeah, so what is that? 2 clicks above 0. We'll go that 2 clicks above 0. That's now set there. Let's check that out. I'm going to go ahead and throw my pseudo master on. So here comes some volume. Careful, guys. It's fucking stupid. Like, this is in dual mono. I'm gonna switch it back over into regular mode. Yeah, here we go. Here's regular mode. Here's dual mono.